Hello. Today we're reviewing the movie Dead Poets Society, the great classic about a teacher who inspires his students to become great through classic American and English poets. What's better than that? So it's been many years since I've seen it, and going into this revisiting of the film, I thought that I would probably still love it and gripe about some of the teaching aspects of it.
Huh.
But what surprised me about it is that I wouldn't like it. Not very much at all. And although I did find the performances, especially by Robin Williams and Ethan Hawke, to be very good.
Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of those main characters or the main students portrayed here were fine jobs from the actors, but
Sure.
man, these the admin was very crudely written, and so was the parent of one of the characters, Robert Sean Leonard, was, I mean, my goodness, borderline evil, but in a very crude way. I was expecting, a dark cape on this parent with the mustache. It's like it just wasn't. It took me out of the movie.
You thought it was unbelievable, maybe? Is that what you're saying?
It just didn't make sense for the film because what it created is a halo. This Robin Williams ended up looking like a saint, and really, I wouldn't even call him a teacher in this film. He wasn't so much teaching as running a cult. Where the students are swooning over him, and for these reasons, I can't like the film. I can't recommend it.
Wow. I felt the opposite, actually. I turned it on. I thought I would watch it in parts. I've seen it a couple of times over the years. And I just sat there and I was glued to my seat. I loved it. I thought I was entertained.
Really?
Oh, I was. And I felt like it didn't age. I mean, it aged well. It didn't.
So you thought that he portrayed a teacher that the school remotely is honest to what you experienced?
I've seen teachers like that, where kids swoon over the teacher. I've seen parents like that. Not to that, to be fair, not to
Parents
that extent.
Like him,
not
like
to
this
extent. Sean Leonard's, I'm sorry, the character
right.
Neil, his father. I've met some parents like that. Not to that extent. So again,
you haven't
you're right.
Parents like
not
neither have I.
Close, pretty close.
Neither have I. It's
my point is it's close,
but,
and that's why I was in a believable mode. It wasn't like it was. I was like, oh, this is a fairy tale.
So
that was real.
So we have to get to that part then, because the plot spoiler. Okay, we're talking about a student who is inspired by Keating. John Keating is the teacher's name, played by Robin Williams, who ends up auditioning for the play, to the concern of his parent, his father, who says, no, you're not going to get into that world, the acting world. You are going to be a doctor. And that's it. No more talk. Don't talk back. That's it.
I've known two parents who I've heard them talk almost same verbatim.
And pulls him from the play and embarrasses him. And I'm not saying parents like that don't exist, but the way it was written, and the way it was the way they fashioned this character, that's a lot of burden they put on those parents. Because here's the plot spoiler: the student ends up committing suicide, which is, to me, tonally wrong in the whole movie. The movie went sideways after that. I know it was toward the end of the movie, but did you feel comfortable with that?
Of course. I mean, I don't think anybody feels comfortable with a child killing themselves, but I wouldn't put the blame on the school or on the teacher. Obviously, there was this young man felt like there was a dead end, and I think a lot of young people feel that way sometimes when they take their lives. There's a dead end for whatever reason. It could be the parents. It could be maybe at school. It could be a breakup with a girlfriend, but they feel like their life has stopped. So why not just end it?
What I'm not comfortable with is that in this movie. This movie has a very light touch throughout the whole film, and then except for Robin Williams' world, his cocooned world, where, by the way, there's no teachers that exist, except for one, and he's a complete boob. The one admin that's shown is also evil. Then you have this world in which Robin Williams lived, you have that, and then you have the suicide. To me, it was weird. And the way they shot it, it was off balance for me, and just.
I think they were showing. I think the point of even the suicide was saying there was a way of education. Was that this is taking place in 1959, 1960, and so education was this way, very tight, conservative, very hard nosed, and here comes a young teacher coming in saying, "Hey, there's some free thought here. Let the kids decide for themselves their future." And there became this push against it, right? And the kids are pushing, and they're saying, "Hey, we want to think for ourselves." And I think when you look at the suicide, that all had to do with, hey, you know what? Who do we blame? Things are changing. The country's changing. You heard the music in the background, 1950s music. I just started getting that feel. The country's changing. Education's changing. And I'm going to share something real quick, too, regarding the change. And then you see Keating having an effect on even the staff, because when he leaves, another teacher, I think the one you're talking about, the boob, he is doing similar tactics with his kids. He's having them march and do Latin. And I thought, wow, that was great. That was one of my favorite scenes. And then my point is this, is that I think they did that, but I think the sad part is today, 2021, I think the pendulum has gone the other way, where we're stiff-necked, and I think teaching education sometimes doesn't give room for free thought on the other way.
So here's an example of a quote from the movie. You're saying free thought, and he's so wonderful, and they swoon over. I'm going to give you a quote from the movie, okay? The title comes from the inspiration he gives his students, indirectly inspires them to create a society or a group, a club, if you will, in a cave somewhere near the campus where they recite poetry. So one of the students asks, "You were in a club called Dead Poets Society when you were in high school? And all you did is read poetry? What's the point?" His response is, "We didn't just sit around reading poetry. We let it drip from our tongues like honey. Spirits soared, women swooned, and gods were created." What?
Wasn't he being poetic, though?
If somebody said that to me, I would throw a book of sonnets at their head and say, "Shut up, pretentious boob."
It's a film. I think it was showing how much he loved poetry, and I think it was part of who he was. He even said in the film, later on in the film, that, you know what, I think Neil, the character Neil, was saying, "Hey, why are you here when you could be with your girlfriend, with the woman you love?" And he goes, "I'm a teacher. I love being with you guys." But that was kind of cool.
By the way, if you are a teacher inspired by this film, as I was inspired by it when I first saw it, I wasn't a teacher yet.
Sure.
Now I'm not inspired, but if you are, and there's no fault, please do not ask your students to call you captain. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
I did it this last week, a couple weeks ago. Let me tell you why. Can I just tell you why?
Oh my God.
There's a reason. There's another teacher in my room, a student teacher by the name of Aguilar. So there's two Aguilars. And I told him, how are we going to differentiate instruction? No, how are we going to, show the differences? And so what I did was I said,
call you captain?
Well, the other teacher, Mr. Aguilar, of course, because there can't be two Mr. Aguilars. And then I said, what can we call me? I said, hey, how about captain? And so yeah, isn't that great?
I'm gonna
just for this semester. I think it's working okay.
I'm gonna compliment the film in this way, in that I can't hate a film that brings up great poets and Byron and Shelley, and that's wonderful, and they quote from them. Good point. 1 point for them. There is one lesson that he gives that I thought was good. And that is he brings them out on the field and has them recite a line of poetry, then kick a ball. And, each one lining up, recite a line, kick a ball. And there's something to that where you get students up, moving about, and somehow including the content in the physicality of it. It's effective and it's strong. So there's my praise for the film. I don't recommend it.
Okay, well, there you have it.
Any last words before we sign off?
Well, I mean, I recommend it because of everything I shared. I liked it, even though I know we disagreed on some aspects of it. I thought it kind of made me miss Robin Williams, and but the young actors, almost all those young actors are acting today, and I think they did a great job. But yeah, I mean, I think him being that teacher seems a little bit too far up and too
cult leader.
Okay, maybe it's unreachable, but I thought it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and hit the notification bell to find out when the next video is uploaded.
All right. Bye.